has been here. This is one of our original moats. We call this the M1. So it's semi-legacy. This doesn't get a lot of sun, but fortunately for the size of the panel that's on this moat, the battery stays charged even during the winter.
So that's a little baby solar panel, huh?
This is a baby solar panel, and there's an internal battery within the moat. So it keeps
wow.
So we're monitoring the well here, and then on this side is where we actually have.
This is just amazing. This isn't set with a pitless or anything. No insulation around it. Control box hanging out there in front of God and everybody. Oh man, it's just different in warm climates. It's really funny for us cold guys to watch this.
Now, everyone knows that, you know, breakers aren't switches, and eventually you'll burn them out. So they used to have, I think it was on top, or I think it was behind the metal panel here, they had like 3 or 4 different breakers back here because they would keep swapping them out, so they had spares in there. And if you take a look closely now, what do you guys see in here? There's cobwebs, right? He hasn't had to open it up, you know, since meter me's been installed, right? So you always used to come over here, open it up, flip the breaker, and then you'd have to run back and forth watching the tanks, right? Now, meter me's installed here with a control moat. In this box here, you have a latching relay that turns a contactor on and off, basically. And the way that this system is set up is there is a sensor in the 4 tanks on closest to us that reads the water level. When the water drops to a certain level, it calls for water and turns the pump on. It pumps to a certain amount and then turns the pump off. Now, if the well itself, yeah, you can open up. Okay. Just don't electrocute yourself.
No problem.
If another aspect of this is, so meter me, we consider the well a source, right? So meter me will monitor that source, and we have protections in place that if the drawdown is too great or it gets to a certain level, like too low, then the pump will turn off. So what you have in here, this is the only component here that is actually truly meter me's, and that is the latching relay.
Okay.
This here is a power supply, a 5-volt power supply, to provide auxiliary power for this moat because it gets a lot of shade during the winter,
And
right?
to think we weren't going to open that up. Huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then over here, this is your contactor, right?
Right.
Because it's not super high voltage, but it's higher voltage, right?
Jacob, you seen one of those before?
I have now.
And then with meter me, we will either install an HOA switch or a simple switch so that they can manually operate it.
Fantastic. Okay, well this is what makes sense to my kind of people.
The control modes, because they get enough sun actually in here, but it's just to drive these 2 ball valves. This is one of their main supplies for irrigation. This is coming from the pond. And this one is a secondary to feed, I believe it's one of the tanks down in the lower property. Before, they used to have to come up here and manually turn that valve. This is actually newer after meter me, and then they installed the valve. During one of the fires, a lot of these pipes melted, so they rebuilt it after that. But what's nice about this area, the uniqueness of the location, like this is buried in the woods, yet meter me's here. You automate. If you pull out your phone right now, you probably don't have any service whatsoever in here. Well, I actually have a bar, surprising. The LoRa is very beneficial in areas like this, right? And for fire, another one, I think it's one of these valves, they can also do another transfer further on down the line. And then they can supply, I think it's like 100,000 gallons of water, you know, down to some of the hydrants over here.
Amazing.